The LeEco L2 is the first available phone featuring the all-new Mediatek Helio X20 SoC. We took a closer look at this $220 phone with high-end qualities, so if you wanna know how it performs, keep watching. The LeEco L2 doesn't come with much accessories. You get some paperwork, a SIM tray opener, a small USB Type-C to 3.5mm headphone jack converter, a USB Type-C charging/data cable, and a quick charger. The phone itself is CNC crafted out of a single piece of metal, which means we've got a unibody design going on there. Comparing the LeEco L2 to other devices, it definitely is on par with devices far more expensive in terms of build quality. You probably could kill someone with this thing. The model we've got for review is the rose gold version, but we think this one isn't only for the females, since the rose undertone is very subtle, which means it doesn't look feminine at all. What's more, depending on how the light shines on the handset, the rose color sometimes isn't visible at all. The rear of the L2 is pretty eye-catchy due to the huge camera module and also the fingerprint scanner, which actually has a mirror surface matching the color of the body. The build quality and attention to detail put into the design really is amazing at this price point. There are no moving parts or sharp edges. The transition between the metal and the plastic caps covering the antenna is almost invisible. The front does look pretty nice as well due to the symmetric arrangement of the sensors and the front camera next to the phone receiver. What's more, the RGB status LED is completely invisible except it lights up. The same applies to the touch buttons situated below the screen. Talking about screen, there you get a 5.5-inch Full HD panel along a 5-point digitizer. The screen isn't bezel-less as it might appear when looking at it while turned off. There is a 3mm black bezel around the screen. The LCD panel itself is a very nice one, offering a very sharp picture and nice colors, which can be adjusted to your likings within the settings using several presets. Another impressive part is the screen brightness, which is very high, making outdoor readability a breeze. The touch panel does react fast and precise, which will make any fast typers happy. Fingerprints aren't attracted too much and can be wiped off easily. LeEco don't use Gorilla Glass, by the way, but it is still some kind of tempered glass, since so far we haven't been able to scratch it during daily use for more than 2 weeks. The LeEco L2 is based on Mediatek's new Helio X20 processor, the first smartphone chipset with 10 cores, or actually 11 cores including the low power management core. Those cores build 3 clusters, one Cortex A72 cluster clocked at 2.3 GHz, one A53 cluster clocked at 2 GHz or 1.8 GHz in case of the LeEco L2, and another A53 cluster clocked at 1.4 GHz. The GPU is a powerful yet efficient Meili T880 MP4 GPU. The purpose of those 10 cores obviously doesn't have anything to do with providing superior performance, but to ensure energy efficiency. Mediatek themselves compare the tree cluster architecture with the transmission of a car. The clusters are used to spread processes among them depending how efficient a cluster can process the task. And yes, that plan does indeed work out. The Helio X20, aside from 3D graphics, is able to reach the day-to-day performance of a Snapdragon 820, but with a much smaller footprint on the battery. More about that later when talking about battery life. But not only energy consumption is low, heat is as well. During day-to-day use, you can barely notice the phone getting warm. The chipset pretty much never gets hotter than 40 degrees Celsius. Playing games, it never goes above 50 degrees Celsius, which is impressive. The Helio X20 isn't a good solution for gamers though, at least not at this point, since it currently is impossible to play games smoothly. This obviously isn't caused by a lack of GPU processing power, since the Meili T880 is more powerful than the PowerVR solution of the Helio X10, which still plays most current games smoothly. It seems like the GPU driver is responsible for this, since all current Helio X20 and X25 devices suffer from skipped frames in pretty much all games. So let's hope Mediatek will fix this issue soon and manufacturers include the fix within their firmwares in a timely manner. Currently a lot of potential is just being wasted there. On the sensor side of things, the LeEco L2 impresses with a huge load of sensors. This includes the basic stuff plus a magnetic field sensor, gyroscope and step counter. In addition, there is an infrared emitter which can be used to control a television, for example. A universal remote app is pre-installed and the whole thing works nicely, but only close to the device. Starting from 2 meters of distance, it won't work anymore. The fingerprint scanner on the back of the LeEco Le2 works well and is very reliable, though not the fastest one. Unlocking the phone with it takes about a second, which is acceptable but not perfect. Something we like is that the scanner can be used as a shutter button in the camera app, which is useful when taking selfies. The operating system running on the Le2 is EUI version 5.6 based on Android 6.0 Marshmallow. The system comes with a heavily customized UI which partially looks very similar to MIUI, yet offers a completely unique UI concept. Something very confusing to some might be the notification center and control center, which are apart from each other. The notification center is opened by dragging the top bar down like we are all used to from Android. You can delete notifications by swiping them away or remove all of them with a tap on a button. You can also access the notification settings from here, in which you can allow and disallow apps to post notifications. You also can set favorite apps whose notifications will then be displayed on top of the list. The control center along the quick settings, however, is separate and comes with a lot more features than we are used to from other Android flavors. It is opened by pressing the menu button no matter where you are. Now you will see some useful features on the top, including a shortcut to the remote app, the camera, the calculator and the flashlight. Also, you will find a control for any music playback running on your phone. Situated below are the usual Android quick settings like Wi-Fi, data access and the likes. Again, below we find the list of opened apps. Those can be opened by tapping on them, closed by dragging them to the top, or locked by dragging them to the bottom. Also, you can clear all apps out of the RAM by hitting the button displaying the used amount of RAM. All in all, the UI concept of EUI does work out very well and makes sense once you get used to it. But there are negative parts as well, which are really annoying for international users. One of those negative things is the deep integration of the LeEco services into the system, and all of those integrations of course are Chinese. One example for this is the content overview integrated to the launcher. You can't even disable this stuff to get rid of it, and those services also constantly push notifications. Another negative part is that currently EUI is only available in English or Chinese. There are translated versions, but those usually are buggy and slow. The only solution for this is to install a custom ROM. Luckily, stock Android and MIUI have been available for all LeEco phones so far, so the Le2 shouldn't be an exception. The last thing we don't like is the performance of EUI. The system quite frequently shows a bit of lag, which is caused by all those LeEco services running in the background, which by the way also consumes a lot of RAM. This has been an issue with previous LeEco devices as well, unfortunately. Let's leave the software part and move on to reception quality, where the LeEco Le2 managed to impress again. Everything works extremely well here on both Wi-Fi and mobile networks. The only downside is that the LeEco Le2 does not support the FDD-LTE band 20. GPS does work perfectly as well. The average fix consists of 18 satellites and the accuracy mostly is 1 meter. The phone even managed to get a fix inside buildings with no issues most of the time. Using the phone for navigation, we haven't been able to spot any issues. If you love a very good audio quality while listening to music on your phone, the LeEco Le2 is for you. The Helio X20 comes with an improved hi-fi solution compared to the Helio X10, which indeed sounds even better. Output through headphones is pretty much perfect and the maximum volume is very high. The only annoying part is that there is no 3.5mm headphone jack. Thus, you have to use the USB Type-C adapter, which means you cannot charge the phone while listening to your favorite tracks. The internal speaker of the Le2 does sound great as well. It offers a very nice audio quality and a high maximum volume without distortion. Thus, the Le2 easily keeps up with much more expensive devices. The LeEco Le2 also offers an audio enhancement feature based on Dolby Atmos, but we can't recommend using it at the moment since it makes music actually sound worse. The sound just is dull and strange both through the headphones and the internal speaker. Quite impressive is the voice quality during phone calls. Your interlocutor can be understood extremely well and your own voice will be transmitted crystal clear as well. Furthermore, the noise cancelling works perfectly fine. The camera equipment of the Le2 consists of a 16 megapixel main camera with f2.0 aperture and PDAF autofocus, as well as a front camera with 8 megapixels and an f2.2 aperture. The main camera creates sharp shots with an impressive amount of details at daylight, but pictures often look too bright or too dark depending on the light situation. It takes a while to get used to it and to know how to set the focus to avoid this to happen. The speed of the camera is very good. Both focusing and taking a picture takes a fraction of of a second, which makes it pretty easy to take pictures of moving objects. In low light or darkness, however, the camera starts to struggle. It generates quite some noise in images. The LED flash is very bright but doesn't manage to remove the noise completely. Videos are recorded with a maximum resolution of 4K and offer a very nice picture quality and impressive audio quality, which is good enough for recording concerts and stuff. You can find a demo clip on our channel. Slow motion recordings are possible as well with up to 120 FPS at 720p. The front camera is capable of doing nice shots at daylight but also struggles with bad light. The camera application is pretty simple, which makes it easy to control. In the upper area we find buttons to switch between the cameras and to control the LED flash. There also is a button for settings. By swiping on the preview area you switch between the most important modes, those being photos, panorama, video and slow motion. Swiping from the lower area to the top reveals some more modes like HDR, night shot, face beautify and scene mode. The battery inside the LeEco Le2 offers 3000 mAh of capacity, which is kind of the average capacity you get with 5.5-inch phones these days. It reaches a much better than average battery life though, since the Helio X20 is extremely efficient as mentioned before. The Geekbench free battery test result isn't too impressive, but that is caused by the performance mode that is automatically activated when running benchmark apps. More interesting is the real battery life, by which we mean the screen on time you get while actually using the phone. The result here is the best one we've got, with almost 7 hours of screen on time and still 22% of charge left, which is by far better than anything we have seen to date and easily keeps up with devices that have a much larger battery but a weaker processor inside. Charging the battery also goes quickly, taking only 30 minutes from 20 to 68% and 1 hour and 6 minutes from 20 to 100%. Our conclusion: the LeEco Le2 can be described the best by calling it a high-end flagship at a mid-range price, since, well, that's what it is. You get a phone with excellent build quality, great performance, long battery life, a great display and a capable camera. The Le2 isn't for everybody though, due to the software flaws and the missing FDD-LTE band 20. At a price tag of about 220 bucks, it's a very fair offering though, giving competitors hard times. So that's all from our side. If there are any questions left, please drop a comment. If you like what we are doing here at ChinaMobileMag, please pay us a visit at www.ChinaMobileMag.de or at our English site www.chinadevices.net and follow us here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye bye, over and out.